Got it. Who's that? Is that Lily and Pearl? And Tony the Tiger? Hey there, hey there, hey there. What's up? It's Thursday, October 28th. This is Lily and Pearl. Hi, Lily and Pearl. Tony the Tiger. My name is Jenna. This is 11:11 with Jenna. I'm here every day, 7 days, 7 nights, 14 times a week, right here on 11:11 with Jenna. That's right, on the Meta. I'm on Meta. Is it on the Meta or is it Meta? Are we now just metaing? Metadata, 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 metadata. What you doing, Lil? Oh, Lil, showing how not ambidextrous, how flexible she is. That's right. Oh, Mom, my ear itches. Everything else itches too. I'm so happy that you're here tonight. It's Thursday night, and we drove today. We took this long, incredibly beautiful, picturesque drive from Sonoma to Lake County and on the Mark West Road, and it was crazy. It was beautiful, and I haven't even checked to see if anybody's on the Meta yet. But Emily Clee is here. Hey, Emily. Hi, Julie. Julie Luce, William D. What's going on? All of these. On the Meta. La 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 la. What you doing, Lil? Oh, Mom, my ear's itching bad. My ear's itching bad. So, what are you eating? What are you drinking? What's going on? Emily, you're in Chicago. You're not in California, and you're not You are not in Florida. Okay. Well, you are in Illinois, and I am going to make sure that this show is public. That's right. That's right. That's right. Emily, did you pay the ticket yet? I'm going to ask you that every time I see you now. Just because I think you just need to either get it taken off or don't pay for it. Hey, is that ear really bugging you? Come here. Come here, Lil. Come here. Come here. Come say hi. Yeah. Oh, Mom, I'm so very shy. I'm so very shy. Come here. 1, 2, 3, up. There she is. We walked in Sonoma today. We met some cute dogs. She just saw her friend Gracie. And Chica died. So she was looking all over for Chica. I missed Chica. I got out of the car. Leonardo, hello. You just made a smoothie right now at 11:11? Nice. Hi. Leonardo, I meant to get back to you, but my life has just been crazy. Hello, Suzanne. Lillian's making a soft and nice, comfortable spot. I do have an interesting guest on this evening. I'm waiting for him to jump on the show. His name is Ed Attanasio. And so as soon as Ed gets here, we'll tell Ed's story. Oh, no.
I thought you told me yet.
No, Ed. You gotta wait for the music. Ladies and gentlemen, about 2 weeks ago, I was in Petaluma. I was watching TV. It was after Jeopardy, so it was like 3 weeks ago when Matt was still on. And after this there were all these local stories that they were talking about people in the Bay Area, and there was this segment about this person that started drawing. People were sending him photos, and I don't know how it started, and we'll find out. But people would send him a photo of their animal, and he makes a portrait of them. And he's here tonight, and he's already here. I thought he left, and anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Lillian's digging to Australia. Ed Attanasio.
Now
Yeah,
All right.
now. Wow, you even put a suit on.
Yeah, I got dressed up big time.
Hi there.
Hi, sorry for jumping the gun there. I thought,
That's
forget
okay.
about it. It's okay.
I
I
actually
was
thought
just
you
so
really,
excited to be
I thought
on
you
that I
really,
just
really
jumped the gun.
left, but you actually were
No, I've
kind
been
of
sitting here. I was just sitting here watching you put your makeup on and talking to your dog, and I was drawing. So,
very funny. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't put too much on. It just
No,
depends on
no,
the
it was
mood.
light. Yeah.
Hi, Mama Grace. So tell us about the clothing that you have on right now. Hat.
Oh, it's just a t-shirt. That's supposed to be like the Joker. I
Uh-huh.
used it for Halloween a couple years ago. And then this is my Michigan State hat,
Party on.
Spartans hat.
I had to acknowledge the hat.
Yeah.
So your father went to Michigan State.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any other connection to Michigan?
No, not really.
And you grew up where?
I grew up back east till I was 8, and then I moved to Southern California, and then I came up to Northern California, went to San Jose State, and I've been living here ever since.
Far out.
I never got back to LA.
And did you like art when you were a child?
It's so funny because I've always been a writer. I've always been a writer. I went to journalism school, and I wasn't really an artist. I would just doodle. I wasn't trained. My brother had a comic book, and I went to some of
Your
the
brother
early.
what? I'm sorry.
My brother had a comic book,
A
and he
comic book.
was, yeah.
Like
And I went to
as
the
you were growing up?
yeah, and I went to some of the early Comic Cons, and met a lot of these guys who ended up becoming millionaires. The guys who did the Ninja Turtles, but I didn't get into the art until 2009 when I had a stroke, and that got me into the art.
And can
It
you
tapped into a
elaborate?
Yeah, I had with it, I was 350 pounds, and uh, you abused drugs and alcohol to a high degree. Let's put it that way. And so I had what they call an ischemic, and it didn't affect my body, but it definitely scrambled my brain, and it was scary time. And everybody was saying, would you be interested in working retail, or you love dogs, you can be a full-time dog walker. And I was like, I've worked so many years I was 50. I said, I've worked so many years to be a writer. I'm not gonna hope I can write again. And then randomly one day I was doodling on a post-it note, and I was at a class at SF General. They were doing these classes, kind of a speech therapy, but also retrieval type thing, memory, exercises. And there was a kid next to me, and he had been in a motorcycle accident, had brain damage, and he looked at my drawing, and he said, "Oh my God, you're the next Picasso." And the teacher said, "What's going on back there?" And it
Were
was
you
like,
drawing animals then, or what were
I
you
think
drawing?
I think I remember drawing a gangster for some reason. I drew a gangster, and with the big hat and the big nose, and that was part of the whole thing, because I had no investment in any of it. I thought when I used to draw them and put them around the house, which when I was rehabbing from the stroke, I thought they were getting thrown out eventually. I never thought. And then luckily my ex saved them all and gave them to me in one notebook. And I sold my first piece, which was 48 baseball players, that later became a graphic novel called Bushers. I sold it for 3,000 at a gallery in San Francisco, and I was in
Really?
shock. Yeah.
Hold on a second there. There's your first standing ovation. Did you
It,
have it? Was it framed?
oh yeah, no, the collages, I mount them all together, the post-it notes, and I sent it in, and it was my first time ever really showing it to anyone, and I got no response. And I thought, this is just too much. It's too crazy. And then they called and they said, we want you to be in their show. And then it sold before the show even started, which was really cool. And then that kind of just rolled from there. That gallery guy kind of liked me. And see, with art, if you're untrained, it's good. It's not like school where there's an
Right.
A and an F. And when I first started having success with my art, I mean, some people don't get my art. I mean, I've had people, I used to, like a lot of times I like to be the fly on the wall and stand next to my art, you know. And I thought there should be a great invention for artists where you have a nanny cam on your art and it has a motion detector. And so every time on your phone, no matter where you are, you can look and people can talk about your art. But I've had people go, this is really disturbing. One guy goes, this reminded me of the one time I had a bad trip on mushrooms. One guy said that. And then, you know, other people just go crazy. And when they do, it's like home run. I don't, you know, to me, if they're happy and they like it, if not, if they don't, actually, I do take it personally.
Well, I have to back up for a minute.
Yeah, of course.
You mentioned that you weighed 350 pounds.
Yeah, big
You
boy.
don't anymore.
No, I weigh about 330. I mean, 230. 230, yeah. I lost about 120 pounds.
How and when did you do that?
Well, I had to. I mean, when I had a stroke, that was kind of a warning sign. And so I quit drinking. And I went on a diet that was pretty much that I devised, where I just ate like 6 snacks a day. And that way I was always full. And then my exercise was walking and swimming. So I was like at Fillmore Center in San Francisco, and I swam. At the beginning, I could barely swim for 10 minutes. And then at the end, I was swimming a mile every day.
Really?
So yeah.
Well,
Now I walk. So these are great.
Wow. Now you're walking. How many miles a day do you walk?
About 4 to 6. Yeah.
So are you, and I do collages. Yes, that's true. Like I make collages, and I just sold one the other night before I
Oh, wow.
have shown it anywhere. But
Oh, wow.
and my friend William, thank you, William, for acknowledging that. So I saw you on TV.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's called the Pandemic Pet Project. So that's what happened was the pandemic hit, and I lost all my clients in one day.
What
3
were you
phone calls
doing?
on a Friday afternoon. I was a writer. So
Writer for?
writing blogs, marketing. I write for a couple automotive publications. I also do sports. I'm a sports historian. I interview retired baseball players. So all the money got sucked right out of that.
Didn't
And
it though? I'm a
yeah,
musician, so
I
hi.
know. I have a lot of musician friends. I know. And then right after that, right before that, we all got scared by AB5, right? Didn't you get frightened by AB5? That's the one about, you know, with gig businesses and how they were going to
Oh,
try to.
oh,
It
right.
was
Oh, right. The
ridiculous. It was,
taxes. Right.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And but it was really great how, in
I
a
don't pay.
way, the
No, I'm just
COVID
kidding. I
hit.
pay taxes. I pay taxes.
Oh no, I'm not saying that. I'm
Yeah,
just saying that.
like how Uber. Yeah,
Yeah.
all the
Yeah,
industry.
they did it because of Uber. But what
Yeah.
happened is, the great thing about the COVID is, which I think has helped the environment, it's helped people's sanity, is that all these companies are now going virtual. You know, my friend is the communications director for Oracle, and they're going to let her work at home. I mean, Larry Ellison is going to sell all this real estate, you know, because he can commercial real estate. And I love it, the fact that it's virtual. So that's what pretty much happened, but I lost all my clients.
It did amazing things for the environment. I was watching animals in my outside
Yeah,
my door of my house that I never saw a deer come right up there, and they were just like, yeah, this
yeah,
is really cool. And it was quiet, but
yeah,
it was really quiet because there was no music and there was no writing going on. So you lost your gigs. Everyone canceled you that Friday.
yeah. And it was, they said, you know, we're furloughing you, but we didn't know what the next day was going to be like. So to me, it was just, my world fell apart. And then I said, how am I going to occupy my time? And I was thinking maybe work on another graphic novel. And then my buddy called me and he said, my kids are driving me crazy. Can you please send some art? They love your art. So I drew their dog. And when their dog arrived, Winter, the little girl, started crying. And her brother Sawyer said, oh, she was crying. And she said, my dog is not blue. And then Sawyer, who was 10, said, this is abstract art. Ed is like Picasso. It doesn't supposed to look like our dog. It's his
Someone else thinks you're
it's
Picasso.
his dog. So I went crazy with that. I thought that was so great. I put it on Facebook, and then people started saying, hey, you know, can you draw my cat, my dog, my pet, Bunny, my bird? And so I started doing it, and then people wanted to pay me either Venmo or PayPal. I said, no, I don't want your money. And that's where I got the idea, pay it forward to the pet rescue of your choice. Suggested donation is $50 per image. Some people can't give, and that's okay. It's a pay it forward model. I mean, I had a guy call me that he was disabled, and he said, I want you to draw my service dog, but I can't donate. I can't commit to that. And I said, it's okay. Maybe in the future you'll be able to.
Cool.
And it's been really emotional. Every time I wanted to quit, something happened to keep me going. I was going to cap it at 1,000, and a woman called me up and said, please don't quit. She said, I'm stage 3 lymphoma, and every morning the one thing that gets me going is I look at your 4 drawings. So I do 4 drawings every day. And I said, why would you call me? I felt like Godfather and Al Pacino in Godfather 2. They pulled me back in.
They pulled me.
What
back
is that?
in.
Somebody chewing?
They clap. Do you have any animals?
No, I lost my dog in a divorce. But when I'm never going to really completely retire. But when I get closer to that stage, I'm probably going to have to leave California, maybe Oregon and Washington, and then I'll have a bunch of pets, cats, dogs, goats. Terriers is my dog. Cairn Terrier is my favorite breed.
She's an Italian Greyhound Terrier mix.
Yeah, beautiful dog.
Yeah, you met her earlier.
Yeah.
I did send you photos.
Oh, well, I haven't.
I sent you photos of 3
Oh,
animals.
well, now you moved to the top of the queue. My queue is 1,300. I got like 1,500 that day when I was on Kelly and Ryan on February 15th.
So when that happened, I just saw it on TV just 3 weeks ago. So
they repeated it too. They repeated.
So somebody from ABC saw you somewhere?
They saw me. The Today Show wrote an article about me. They didn't. Really? I wasn't on the Today Show, but the Today Show wrote an article. I do PR, and what it is the media, and I'm a member of the media to a degree. We're just sheep. So you see an article somewhere, you just swipe that, and I got so many calls. The first article was in Mercury News.
Wow.
So the Mercury News did an article, and then that just fed to everything. And
I need that to happen for 11/11 with Jenna.
Well, I saw. Did you get some news piece?
I got 2 pieces. I got I think the Mercury and then a smaller paper. Both.
I love that. I love it. Yeah, because it's funny. These projects are very similar. Mm-hmm. You have to do it every day. I have to do this every day. It's like that. Probably gotten to the point where it's in your DNA. It's part of your daily life.
People say, "When are you going to quit?" And I go,
"Yeah,
I don't know. I guess maybe I don't know. I don't plan on quitting."
And you're not making any. You don't make any money. Do you make any money doing it?
I have a Patreon page.
Oh.
And then people donate when they donate. Oh. I would love it if everybody that was on this show right now would give me $11.11 once a month, and I would be very happy.
Wow. That would be good.
But,
yeah, I remember when I first started doing it, one of my buddies said, you lost all your work and now you're drawing people's art for free. He said, are you back on edibles? Is what he said. And I said, watch all the good things that will come from it. And I predicted everything, and all the things I predicted have happened. And
I've met people. And there are people on this show right now, not to interrupt, but there are people watching right now that I've never been in the same room with that I will be friends with for the rest of my life.
Oh, wow. That's so great. Yeah. Through this vehicle. And how amazing is that?
We watch out for each other.
How amazing is that?
How do we pay you, Jenna? You can pay me. Patty, how do we pay? Let me look it up.
You go on that. Yeah. So put a link or something. So we
I have a thing, but I don't know where it is right this second. Where is it? Where's my thing, you guys? I have PayPal. I love it when people PayPal.
PayPal's easy.
Do you PayPal?
Yeah, I PayPal. I can give you some money PayPal.
I love it. Share the show. Let's see. Dan, can you spell your last name again for me? D A T T
Attanasio. Attanasio.
Attanasio.
See,
Parlo Italiano?
yes, see,
Yes. And
that's
you
the
visited
extent
your
of my time.
family.
Pardon?
Do you draw? I see. I've always been envious of the person that can draw on on a cocktail napkin or a post-it note.
Well, the thing with me is it's kind of it happened because of the stroke, so it's very much an idiot. So it's not the right word to call idiot savant thing, but it's my skills are limited. I mean, if you look at my stuff, it's all shoulder and head. I mean, I can't draw a body, and that's what happens when I'm getting commissions now. People are saying, draw this, draw that, and then I have to do my interpretation of it. And then sometimes people go, that doesn't look like my dog, and they get upset. And I've had a couple people
Really?
named
They've gotten
Karen.
up. They've called you up and said,
I've had some people named Karen. I'm kidding. And some Kens as well.
"Karen."
Karens and Kens. And no, I snapped at one woman. I went soup but Nazi on one woman. But all it's this whole thing is light and energy and kindness. So I don't want to be like that.
Exactly.
But but I've had some crazy women. This cat lady called and she said, I know you have a 2 pet limit, but I have 7 cats. Can you draw them? And then she sent me a picture and they were all black. So the cats were all black. And I said, how am I gonna? And then I was messing with her and I said, I really need to meet the cats and channel them before I can draw them. Is there any way we can get them all on a Zoom call?
You did?
Yeah. And she goes, well, I don't know. She said, Pepper never comes out from under the bed. And then the cat lady said, how do you pay for your supplies? And I told them, don't worry about it. And they said, no, no. And they did a wish list on Amazon. And one weekend, I got over $1,000 in supplies.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah, the Amazon guy came here 3 times.
that is so cool.
Yeah. Postage and envelopes. And see, I put them all in these envelopes where it has a little sticker. Then I write your dog's name. Said he's in here.
She just heard the word CAT and she looked up.
Cat.
She's like,
And they go back
so
to sleep.
do you make any money?
No, but most of my clients have come back. A couple of them have limped back, but they're coming back. So and then I got some help from the state, through the pandemic, and so
Oh, you did? Cool.
not a lot, but just to keep me going. So
Oh,
I'm never gonna, I don't have savings, which is, that's because I've always pursued my
you're an artist.
my creative. I was stand-up comic for 14 years.
Oh, can you tell us a joke?
Oh no, I hate that. No.
Come on.
Give
Tell
me
us a story. Can you
let me
tell us
just
a
start
story?
talking and let me just start talking
Okay.
and I'll tell you how Sam Kinison taught me how to get booze after 2 a.m.
How?
Sam Kinison was, remember?
Sure.
Crazy.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course I know the same thing.
So I worked with him a week in San Jose at a place called Last Laugh. So we played golf all day. He was doing well, I must admit. We were both doing certain substances, which kept us going through the whole day. And he went up there and did 55 minutes and just screamed and just took down the house. I mean, he would take over. He was an amazing comic. He came from a family of all preachers, so he was like he did that kind of preacher style, and So after we were partying more, and it got to be like 3 o'clock in the morning, and he said, we ran out of alcohol. And I said, how are we going to do it? All the liquor stores are closed. And he goes, watch this. And he called the limo company. And the limo guy came and he gave him $200. And then he completely took all the booze out of the back of the limo. And that's how we got alcohol after 2 a.m. That's not a very funny story, is it?
Well, I mean, do you remember a comedian in the Bay Area by the name of Tree?
Of course, I know Tree very well. Michael West. He's my friend.
Love
I
Tree.
worked with him. Yeah. Yeah, Michael.
Tell them about Tree.
Well, Tree, first time I saw Tree, he was with an improv group. This radio station had an improv group and they would perform Wednesday nights. And this guy's like 6'4". He looks very Nordic. He would come out in
Big white
all,
guy. He's a
yeah,
really tall white guy.
right. And he comes out there and he like threatens the crowd. and he's very aggressive, and he's wearing leather chaps and all
Wow.
leather. And then he changes, like he was so great. He'd be a gay guy, then he would be a Nazi, had skinhead. I mean, he had all these different characters that he would just go in and out of. And he was a finalist in the first, his first,
Excuse
the
me for
first
one
time.
second. 1 second.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you, Michael Teach. I can't believe you're friends with Tree. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So it's it's like right now I'm getting some offers thrown at me. And the thing is, if you have that chance, you should grab it, because they say 15 minutes of fame. It's more like 15 seconds of fame. So you
Seconds.
have to seize it.
Right.
So he was in the San Francisco stand-up comedy competition, which was nationally respected back then. That was the one where one year Robin Williams finished second. And he was in the finalists. So he came out of nowhere. Nobody knew who Tree was. All of a sudden he shows up and he's in the finals with Stephen Pearl and
Sure.
Johnny Steele and Michael Pritchard. And, here's Tree. And people are just in shock. I mean, he was so good. And after he finished, he didn't win. He got the offer to be in the movie Police Academy. Police Academy 3.
Really?
Very forgettable movies. But that would have put him on the national scene. Enough eyeballs would have got on him that I really think his career would have just flourished, because you and I know he was just incredible. And he didn't get the gig. It fell through. He didn't get it, and he never got back there, but he made a good career. Now he's acting. He acts. He does a lot of performances at San Jose Stage Company. He lives in San Jose. So he does a lot of acting,
Well,
like
when you
community
speak
acting.
to him, I used to see him back in the 80s with my brother Nino, Tony, and my other brother Mitch. They'd just call on the phone and say, Tree's playing in an hour, let's go. And we'd go to Concord or San
Oh
Francisco
yeah,
or saw him in Oakland. Oh my goodness, he was so
yeah,
funny.
yeah,
So funny. Wow.
yeah. What's great about him is that he's so different than his persona on stage. He's very quiet, very intellectual. He loves birds. He's got usually got 4 or 5 Russian greys or cockatiels, and yeah,
Did you
yeah.
work with any other?
Well,
Or
everybody,
did you?
everybody.
Did you ever work with
Bobcat,
Doug Stanhope?
Dana Carvey. No, he was. I love him, but he wasn't. He wasn't a San Francisco comic.
No,
Um,
no, no. I
yeah,
know. But
yeah.
wow, the first time I saw him, I was like this.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's the one who's got that. He's crazy in real life.
He's like, you think I'm funny now? Wait till I throw back about 6 more of these
Oh
beers.
yeah, he's out of control.
He's out of control
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm a Jake Johansson
I
kind
know
of
Jake
gal.
well. I know Jake too. That
Jake
was a
and
great
I,
story that he made it. He left. A lot of these guys leave up here. They leave the San Francisco scene and they never make it. They end up coming back more. They come up performing here more than they were in LA. But he went down there and he stuck. And I know. I mean, I saw him. He was on the Johnny Carson show.
yep.
I
And
think
he
it.
and I do it when we go to Jazz Fest. He stays with this group of people that I'm friends with. And so I
Oh
always,
wow.
whenever he's around, I'm like, oh, there's Jake Johansson. I get
Yeah.
all giddy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love comedic.
Yeah, I love his joke. He lived in such a small town that his dad became the mayor because he was the ninth caller. Something like that.
Hey, can you
Yeah.
show us one of your pieces of Picasso-like art?
Well, I can show you. Let's see.
That's so
So
cool. I love this.
these are the ones that people that don't get unclaimed, believe it or not. People either don't follow the rules or don't put their address on there, and they get it like this in a little bag.
Oh, let's see. That was a bird.
This
You're
is a
showing them so
bird.
fast.
There's a bird. And here's a cat. What I try to do is I try to make them all different. That's my main thing. And so I use different colors. Like sometimes I'll use greens and blues. Sometimes I'll use reds and oranges. But I see here's greens and blues.
Is
And
that a squirrel?
that's the key, trying to make them as different as I can. And it's weird, I get into a rhythm where I start using similar colors and then I have to break out of it. So
And are they markers?
no, they're colored pencils and black ink. Yeah. And then I number them. And today I did day 555. So I've done 2,220 drawings.
Hey.
Yeah. And they've gone to 26 countries, all 50 states, and over 200, probably by this point, over 300 pet rescue organizations have benefited from donations.
How cool.
Yeah, I know. And I got to keep doing it. I mean, I'm going to do it. I told the one people if I did it till I was 80, I'd do 26,000 drawings. So, I mean, it's just, it's become my, it's like you with the show, you become 4 a day. It becomes your purpose, right? This is your purpose. Like, look, you made friends through this. I've become like the dog. I've become like St. Francis. I mean, one day this woman called me and she said, Shadowfax passed. And she started crying and I started crying. And after about 2 minutes, I said, who are you? And where do you live? I remembered that I drew Shadowfax, but I didn't remember where she was. I mean, I do so many of these. And we kind of bonded over that. I mean, this is a really sad one. I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but a week ago, some woman said we lost our dogs in a fire and the art was with them. And so could you please draw them again? And I did, and FedExed it to them, you know.
My sister and her partner, wife, Katie, live in this house where I am right now. And they have had a dog, Chica, for 15 years.
Yeah.
And Chica died about 3 weeks ago.
Oh.
And Lillian and I drove up, and I just said, when I got out of the car, I went, "There's no Chica to greet us at the door," and it's just,
yeah.
I know.
I you know,
right next to Lillian, and they're hanging out, and their first cousin, little BFF, first cousin sisters, and yeah, man, and it's. I'm sorry you lost your dog, but look at all this dog love and cats. So dogs, cats, goats. Do you draw elephants? Do you draw?
There's anybody if they send me horses. So, and then
What
I
are
draw.
the rules?
What?
What are the rules?
The rules are it's 2 pets per person. So you go on the Pandemic Pet Project. It'll say that it's on pause because I got too many submissions.
I posted a photograph of Chica, and then a week later she died. A lot of people know who Chica is because.
Well, make sure that you get me it on, just email me it. I'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. I do a lot of rainbow pets. It's kind of, I mean, I got one that's on there right now where the guy's got a photo with the ashes and right next to it is my drawing, kind of like a shrine for his pet.
Yeah, we have a shrine in the kitchen.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm drawing now for some pet rescue places, like one in Napa where I'm drawing pictures of the pets that are a little more hard to adopt out. So that hopefully, and so they have the picture of the pet with my art next to it. And it says, you know, adopt this dog. And it comes with an original piece of art. So hopefully they like the art and they take the pet.
That's so great. Okay. So it's two pets per.
2 pets per person. Go to post it. The best way to do it is post it on the page because that's the way I can keep track of everything. And then message me your address.
So where do people do this to you? They
go to Pandemic Pet Project on Facebook.
I'm just gonna post it in here right now. Pandemic
Pet Project.
I got it. Pet Project. They go here, and then they message you.
Yeah. Well, yeah. First of all, post the pictures there
on the Pandemic Pet Project page.
Right. And then I'll have to okay them, but once I do, they'll be released and everybody else can see them. And then go on Messenger and say, hey, I just sent you Purito and Growler, my cat, my dog, here's my address, and that's it. And maybe you can suggest what pet rescue you want to. The default pet rescue, the one that is close to my heart, is called Muttville in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And I had adopted dogs from them over the years. They specialize in senior dogs, but most people seem to have their own. They adopted their dog from, or they know people. So I like to let people just pick whatever.
My sister started the Milo Foundation.
You're who?
My sister.
Wait a minute. What's your?
No, not my sister's not part of it anymore.
Oh, well, I did I emceed 2 galas for them.
After.
That's where we got my Freddie.
Okay, that was
Before they had moved to where they are now. They were in
right.
Marin.
Okay, my
The
sister
galas
started,
that we did were both at the community center in San Rafael.
right. We started it in Willits 30 plus years ago.
Oh, wow. But I think she was still involved with it when we,
Mm,
no?
probably not.
Oh, okay.
She
That's
has been involved for about 25 years,
well, that is so great. Yeah,
22 years, something like that. Yeah.
that's the amazing thing. Yeah, just started
First
the,
no-kill animal shelter in California.
yeah. Oh, they were great. We got this amazing little fat little Cairn Terrier named Freddie. He was probably the dog of my life. There's videos about it. Everybody talks about their dog like it's the one of a kind. But he was yeah, we got him from my life.
She is right there, Lillian Pearl.
Hey,
Lillian, she's so tired. We drove today and drove and drove and drove and drove and
yeah,
drove and yeah.
that's what
Well,
they say. Walk them and tire them out. That's what Caesar says.
she just no, we just drive. We just
Oh,
go.
well, that's tiring
We
too.
fly all over, and
Yeah.
she's a very special being in my life.
Well, I wanted to add one more thing and just
Please.
plug something. So I've always volunteered my time to with animals, and this is an extension of that. When I was a comic, I used to do an annual fundraiser at Fort Mason called Pause for Laughter. I had all the big names, and so now what I'm doing is I'm a publicist for a donkey sanctuary in the wine country. It's called Oscar's Place, and it's in Hopland. And they
I
hired
know
me to.
about Oscars.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, cool. Yeah, so I'm their publicist, and a lot of wonderful things have happened to them. We're not supposed to say, but somebody who's bigger than God might be coming soon and visiting. And that's her name starts with an O and it ends with an H. And we got a USA Today, People, Espanol. And, it's just a great cause. I mean, I didn't even know what was going on with the donkeys. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of them are getting killed every month for medicine. They boil their hides and make a tea. And so it's a sanctuary. So we adopt them out, but if they aren't adoptable, they'll live there the rest of their lives. And it's a 75-acre ranch. And
It's right over the hill from where I am right now.
are you kidding me? Wow. And
I'm
the
in
guy who
Lakeport,
runs it, the
so
guy
right
who's
up.
running it is amazing, Ron King. And everything everything has fallen in line for me. So what happened was I got hired from them as a publicist and found out right after that the owner is this guy, Phil Selway, is a pop art dealer. So I immediately
Oh,
saw an opportunity. So I drew all the donkeys in an image. And you want me to get it? It's just right here. Take 1 second.
yeah, get it. Heck yeah. Yeah, Hopland is right over that hill. Wait, no, right over that hill. How cool, right? Only on 11/11 with Jenna. Do 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 do. And I had to step away for a minute because I wanted to text. Oh, wow. Wow. Now, is that the original or is this a copy?
So yeah, so that's the first class of 30 right there.
Is that the original or a copy?
No, that's the original. And
Far
you're the
out.
first one you're the first person people to see it. So
Do you
what they did was they're printing 15 fine art prints of this. I think they're selling them for like $1,500 each. And then they're going to do a bunch of digital ones. And then they're doing a bunch of cards. And on January 6th in West Hollywood at this gallery, they're going to do a signing. And Lisa Vanderpump is going to be there, and Renee Russo. And,
I don't know who Lisa Vanderpump is.
oh,
Sorry.
you don't know? She's one of the housewives of Beverly Hills,
Oh,
and she
oh,
has her own pet rescue.
oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. And this could be my this could be my another step in my art career. And I think it's going to raise a lot of money. They said, do you want any of the money? And once again, I said, no, I want to give it all to Oscar's Place. I had one woman who I drew, I drew all 6 of her pets. And as a result, she put Oscar's place in her will. You know, you can do that
Yeah.
to raise money. And then I was talking to her, I went and visited her house in Berkeley, and this house is unbelievable. And she goes, honey, it's probably $123,000, $125,000. She goes, it's not that much. And I go, what? I mean, that just made me so happy.
I have a dear friend who has been on the show. I won't mention who it is, but they're part of a church, and a woman came into their church one day, brand new church. It's a legitimate church. It's not like something that they made up. But a woman came in and had such a great time at their church, and they didn't have a place yet. They didn't have an actual building. And she said, I love this place. And she was there. She said, I love this place so much, I want to give you some money. And they said, well, why don't you come back a couple more times, get to know us, and, maybe we'll talk. Well, she came back. She loves it. She loves it. She loves it. She gave them 500 shares of Tesla.
Oh my God. That's probably about
over $2 million.
I was going to say about 2 million. Yeah.
Gifted, and they bought their church.
Oh my God.
Building. Yeah.
That's so great. All you need is one whale, they say, for fundraising.
Yeah.
Just need one person.
I'm just so giddy that you said yes. When I messaged you, I thought, well, do I message him and say, hey, do you want to be on 11/11?
Some of the most fun stuff have been these. I got these kids from Asheville, South Carolina, I think, or North Carolina. It's called High Water TV. And they asked, would they want to interview me? And they were just so cool. And it just kept going on and on the interview. And then they did all these graphics for me afterward and sent me clips. And, and you never know, like for Oscar's place, we were on KSRO, Santa Rosa radio station. And Ron, he's an amazing guy. He runs Oscars. I mean, he was an ad exec running 6 magazine titles for Time Inc.
I'd love to stop by there. I've never,
yeah.
I know kind of where it is. But,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, let me know and I'll make sure.
Right.
And you can see Ron. I call him Ron Key now, the Donkey King. But it's amazing. I mean, this one donkey's blind, and he has a good life, but he's kind of detached from the herd. And then there was a problem donkey that they tried to give to some people at a ranch, and it wouldn't work out. He was bullying the females when they were in heat. So he came back to Oscar's, but he had a background knowing a blind donkey before in his previous life, his previous, where he was living at another farm. So he befriended this blind donkey, and the next day they found him leading the blind donkey around.
Wow.
I mean, it's just like, we can learn so many lessons from them. They're just animals are
like nothing else.
I know. I can't believe people aren't more connected to them.
Yeah, I mean, when you meet someone that doesn't like a dog, I go, okay, see you, bye.
Well, yeah, and that's what used to make me mad in San Francisco, because I lived in Pacific Heights, and I used to do a lot of dog sitting, and I used to get mad because I used to say that some people have dogs when they're kids, so then they grew up with dogs, so they think they're dog people, but they're really not. The dog is more of an accessory. I mean, if you have a dog and you have to keep it in a room alone for more than 10 hours at a time, that's not a good life for the dog. So we used to have that happen. I mean, we had people, this guy was a big wig with Salesforce, and he was working 12 hours a day, and he would call us and go, can you keep the dog another week? Can you keep the dog another week? And when I got I bonded so big time with the dog, my ex at the time said, you go upstairs when the guy comes to get the dog, because you're going to start crying and the dog's going to see it. And the dog didn't want to go with it. The dog didn't want, because we had him for like 5 weeks, and I was walking him every day, and he was sleeping on the bed with us. And that's when I always say, that's like, I don't have a pet right now, because if you get a pet, the one thing I tell everybody, you got to get the insurance. You have to have health insurance for your pet. Because even I hate to say, and I feel guilty for it, in the past, I would get short arms when it would come to some vet bills. It's always, they say, it's always the attitude. The woman is always like, take it to the vet. The dog sneezed, take it to the vet. And the guy's like, hey, they didn't get a vet when they lived in the woods, before they evolved. So that's why I said I never want to have that guilt on me again. So I don't, and that's one of the problems. A lot of people are returning their pets
Oh, I
after the
know.
pandemic, which I think is,
Oh, I know. Yeah, people got pets and yeah, because they were lonely and
they're
bored.
not rentals. I tell people that they're not
She is
rentals.
my heart. She's
Oh
been with
yeah, I
me
can tell you're a pet perfect. You just tell.
she was 3 weeks old. I've had her since then.
Yeah, I could say you
Right?
let it. That's so
Right,
cool.
Lorraine? She's
Very huggable.
looked at me like, Mom, I'm really tired.
I know.
I'm just so tired. Oh, my mom.
He probably knows that he probably recognizes what it is when you do your show.
She knows.
They're smarter than they know. I wish that I would, I would pay good money to have some of my pets have the ability to talk to me when I had them, because they have skills we don't know. I mean, that we don't have. Like you hear about a dog who, finds its owner 350 miles away 5 years later or something. I can't, I get lost with a GPS. So,
Oh man, I
I
drove
mean,
today. I took a drive from Sonoma to Lakeport, and I went through Calistoga, and I went the Mark West. She kept telling me to turn left here and go up this crazy corkscrew, and during the sun, when the sun's in my, oh, it what normally about an hour and a half. It was 2:20.
oh, that happened to
She
me. I
just
got the
finally
new.
she jumped in the front seat with me like, Mom, this is ridiculous. What are you doing? I go, I know.
I was coming back
Sorry.
from Oakland to Castro Valley, and I got the new iPhone 13,
You
and I
did? You got
wasn't.
the new 13?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I wasn't even thinking, and it was taking me on all these side roads, and I'll just drive. I'm an idiot. I was listening to something on the radio, and I go, wait a minute, why is it taking me 43 minutes to get to Castro Valley? And then I looked at it. It took me. I guess you could pick a route where it's a bike route. So I was driving the bike route.
Oh no.
So, which of course you can't go on the freeways. And it was a nice road. I got to go down not Chabot Road. I got to go down Redwood Road. Is it Redwood?
Redwood
Yeah,
Road.
yeah. All
That's a
through
fun road.
yeah. That's why I like it here. This is very,
So you're in Castro Valley now, which is
yeah,
East Bay.
yeah. Totally
That's
different
really
from
cool.
San Francisco.
Will you come back sometime
When?
on my show?
Of course. Yeah. Anytime.
Well, just so you know, my friend William, who's on here tonight, takes the show and puts them on YouTube also.
Great. Yeah, I want to use that. I want to put it on my stuff.
So it'll be here, it'll be
ABP,
there.
always be promoting.
Yeah. And if there's any ideas you have for me, ABP with 1111 with Jenna,
Well, I think you would
yeah.
really like to have Ron King, the Donkey King.
I do. I want to have the
Oh,
wrong.
he is so amazing.
And
And
on November 24th, it will be my 1111th show.
oh my God, what is the biggest name you've had?
Biggest name of person?
Yeah,
My mom.
it's good.
My mom.
Yeah.
Musicians probably for a long time. I had a show that we will start up again in November called Corona Roki.
Oh,
And so we had musicians come on. Sounds like where the gas took me in. Yeah, it was sort of like that. Suzanne, when I was talking to you today, I thought I was going to be in the car another 20 minutes, and I was in the car for another like hour and 50,
oh no.
hour and 50 minutes. But
Oh my God.
so I've had musicians on, artists. There's an incredible artist that comes on the show almost every single night, Carol, who's
Oh
on here
really?
right now. Yeah, we're waiting for Cher. Do you have any connections to Cher?
No, Cher would be great, huh? She's
She's
awesome.
my spirit animal.
Oh really? Well, you never know. You reach out. I mean, people will respond. I mean, I got Jim Carrey on the phone one time, which I was shocked. And
Yeah, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I think Carol's probably our biggest star. You have to check out her artwork.
how do I check her out? What's her
Carol
last name?
or Rob, can you post Carol's website, please?
What kind of art does she do?
Incredible, unbelievable, mind-bending. She paints thread.
Oh wow.
She paints these beautiful children, and then they'll have a scarf, and you'll see the thread
Oh
from the
wow.
scarf. It's like
Wow.
nothing I've ever seen
Oh, I
before.
can't wait. That's what
Really?
I love about when I was in stand-up comedy, there were so many haters. the guys would sit there and just hope that you were going to bomb. And
Oh
in
yeah.
art, it's completely different. The people are so supportive. I have a friend, you've seen his stuff 100 times. His name is Mark Ulrichson. He's from San Francisco. He's done 50 New Yorker covers. And he got me in galleries, and I was nothing. I'm just a post-it note artist. And he referred me around and helped me so much. And that's what I love about this. The artists really seem to be. I'm in a gallery in San Jose called Collide, and it's like where they have 66 artists, and each of us get a 4-foot by 10-foot wall to display our art. And all the artists recommend my art, and we recommend each other, and we help each other with sales. And
That's
I
really
love it.
different than the music business.
Is it the same? They're all waiting for you to bomb.
Hey, does
Uh,
anybody have any questions for Ed? And I did post, just so you know, in this thread tonight, Rob just posted her website as well. cmoroccoart.com. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But if any of you have questions for Dan, he's here and ready to answer them. So, are you doing any stand up at all now? You do a stand up on Zoom?
no, what happened is I was in a stand-up comedy competition at a place called Rooster Teeth Feathers. And I have problems with, since the stroke, it's hard, retrieval. And, comedy is a type of thing where it's a lot like jazz music. You have pretty much what your path is going to be, but then you can go off into little pockets and you can riff. And you can see a good comic do it. One of the best examples ever was Richard Pryor. And so, but if you don't have your material down where you know what the next word's going to be, you're sitting there fumbling around, and don't have it. You don't want to go and riff because you may not get back there.
Right.
So that's what happens to me. So I do a thing before the COVID. I do a fundraiser for Toys for Tots called Yuletide Yuck Fest. We had Dana Carvey and Rob Schneider is a friend of mine, and but we haven't done that since the COVID. And I do jokes, but I just kind of write them down, and so long answer, no, sorry. That was a one-word answer, and I gave you a paragraph.
And I was just going to ask you something. Oh, what do you think of Sebastian Maniscalco?
Oh my God, I love him. I love him. I just like him. The thing is with comics, I think with Dana, Kevin Nealon, a lot of these guys, Seinfeld, that people like them. They're likable. So when you like them, you're very open to their humor. And I just like him. I love the way he talks about his dad. And I mean, some people don't like him because he's got a real kind of weird energy up on stage. He kind of like pounces. I don't know how to describe it. He's like a cat.
Yeah, he's like a cat.
But
he does a lot of different. He's very physical in his
yeah. And I know. So
I know him about 3 years ago, and I saw him on a video, and then he was performing live in Michigan, and I went, and now he's playing Madison Square Garden.
Oh, unbelievable!
Sold out by himself 4 days in a row, standing on a stage in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, and he got some unheard amount of money from Netflix. I think he got like $50 million for that.
Well, the other comedian got a lot more than that, but
who? Amy Schumer?
No, the one that the controversy right now on Netflix.
Who?
Dave Chappelle.
Oh yeah. Well, I never worked with him, but I met him, and he did the longest set of anybody. I think he performed for 22 hours at the in San Francisco at the Punchline.
22 hours. Right?
22 hours. Yeah.
We're thinking of doing the show on November 24th, a 24-hour show.
It'd be great.
I'm going to beat Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
His name is Sebastian Maniscalco. He's super funny.
Well, I have some friends who went to high school with him, and they said he was just as nice a guy as he's just genuine. And I just loved when I heard that.
He didn't used to have as thick of the talk that he has now. He's gotten thicker.
Yes. Yeah. Somebody told him that would, be more ethnic.
Yeah. But when he talks about his the Italian family when you have when you have family coming over and
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Santa and the
Now it's a
holidays.
threat, and you turn the lights out.
Right, right, right,
And
right,
back
right.
then it was like, we got people, we got
Everybody down.
company, we got the food.
Right.
Yeah,
I think
he loves.
he's
He does it. I
yeah.
love when he talks about his dad. When he says
Oh,
he's going
his
to
dad.
do,
And he
he's
has
going
him
to.
on there sometimes too.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
During the pandemic, he would do this thing on Instagram with him and his wife, and he'd be sitting there going, "She's cleaning the bathroom for the 17, just
Yeah.
whatever, funny, funny,
Yeah.
funny stuff."
Well, that's his whole thing. I mean, a lot of comics do that. Is he looks at the absurd, and there's so many things absurd, and he's really good at interpreting. That's his whole, and everybody relates it. It's kind of like, really? That's if he had
I
one
think
mind,
Amy
he'd be
Schumer's
like,
really funny too.
she's great. Yeah. She was, I got to give her credit because I know some of the people who were on the Last Comic Standing, which is really where she got her break, that reality show.
Mm.
And some of these guys, and some of these guys bullied her. And I can't mention their names, but that was really, and I've seen that. There is, my ex, I married a comic, big mistake. And I saw it. I saw it where like agents were going. This one guy goes, "Oh, I'll book you. Oh, by the way, I'm going to Tahoe this weekend. You want to come with me?" And then she said no. And then all of a sudden there was no gig anymore, and just
Well,
like,
those kinds of things
really?
happen in the music business
Can
too.
guys do that? I
The
was
Me
like,
Too, the
wow,
Me
how
Too
is
of the
that?
music world, for
I thought
sure.
that was the old days that those things
Yeah.
changed, but they don't. But I don't think now that's happening with Amy.
Do you
Amy's,
remember what clubs Lily Tomlin used to play in San Francisco?
well, I know Purple Onion.
Was it
She used to
Purple
do the
Onion? Oh, in
Purple
North
Onion.
Beach.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She was great. I remember one time I was doing, there was a house on Guerrero that everybody would get together and write jokes. All the comics would go there, and Rob Schneider and Steve Pearl and Johnny Steele and stuff. And some of the comics would crash there. And it was like a kind of a hippie situation there. So we were all doing writing jokes one night, and it got to be late, maybe 1:30 in the morning. And all of a sudden this door opens and this woman sticks her head out and she goes, "I have to freaking get up early in the morning." And she goes, "Everyone leave." And then she closed the door and I go, "Who's that?" And they go, "Oh, that's Ellen DeGeneres." And I went, "Oh, okay." She was here for just a short time before she on her way to
Oh, really?
success. Yeah.
So it's another place. It was on Bush Street,
The
Comedy
Holy City Zoo? No, what'd she say? What was the name of it?
on Bush.
There was the other cafe or the Holy City Zoo. That's probably one of those two. Bush. It's probably the other cafe. Does that sound right to her?
We'll see in 1 second. There's a little bit of a delay.
No. Yeah, there were about 5 or 6 clubs. Now there's really just one, the Punchline.
The punch.
But there's so many, and there's so many great spaces,
Just
performing
saying,
spaces.
nope, in the 70s. Somewhere in the 70s.
I don't know. Now I'm gonna have to find out. I started in 80. But now there's so many places. It's more like showcases. It's a great, but it's hard. It's like music. I see these guys that are emceeing open mics, and they've been doing the same thing for 30 years, 20 years. And I'm like, haven't you kind of maybe accepted the fact that your big break is not going to happen? But they don't really care.
Well,
They just
that's
like
their
it.
passion.
So
It chooses us.
and sometimes they'll get on at like 12:30 at night on a Tuesday, and there's like 3 drunks there, but they don't care. They just, but
Yeah.
but I've seen the really good ones, and I think it's probably with comedy too, and with art and everything else. It just seems to happen much easier for them. Some of them, they have to work forever. I went to school with all the guys from Van Halen, and when they broke, everybody goes, "Oh, Van Halen, overnight sensation," which it wasn't. I mean, they worked for 7 years and played people backyards and stuff. But then I've seen others that, performed 3 times and then got a TV deal.
Yeah, same thing. It's a luck thing.
Have you been in bands, or do you mostly a solo artist?
Bands. I've performed background. I've been in bands. I've been in bands that were this close to we got signed, and then the guy that we were working for got fired, and then they signed, XYZ, and yeah.
Sounds like Spinal Tap.
Yep, been there.
Well,
Been there.
that's the
But
business. But you never know. You can
I'm
get,
still doing it. I'll sing for these kids. In fact, when we're done here, I'm gonna ask you for a letter, but not X, okay? And then I'll sing a song.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. How
I
cool.
write a song every day on the show.
Wow, you are super creative. And you said you do art. You mentioned that you do art.
I do. I don't draw. I'm I make collages, and I work with encaustic and do different wax stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And I do this, and I love doing this because my mom watches the show every day, and I have, like I said, there are people here right now that I've never met in person that I'll be friends with the rest of my life, and
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep doing it until, I don't know, till.
Well, I should hook you up with my buddy Boris. He is a harp player who he played for like 8 presidents.
Oh, fun.
And his name is Boris Goldman. And he has the longest continuously running art salon in San Francisco. And until the COVID, you would go to it. And he had him in some amazing places. He had him in like this warehouse where Cirque du Soleil was training their acrobats. He would have it in these galleries. He had one in the Millennium Building, which is that big, tall building in San Francisco that's leaning. And now he's been doing it like this, like Zoom. But and it's amazing. He'll have a storyteller, have an artist, he'll have a sculptor, have a filmmaker. So maybe we can. And now he's got it in San Francisco, Berlin, and Tokyo. And so maybe I'll hook you up with him. He's a really good guy. Please. I liked him immediately because I was saying that I don't know, I was saying my arm hurt or something and how old I was. And he said to me, he goes, try a whole day without referring to your age. And I thought, and I tried to do it. It was really hard. And it was very positive. I really like that, because I think he's like in his 70s and he looks like he's in his 50s.
When's your birthday?
August 31st, 1958.
Ah.
I'm a Virgo.
You're a Virgo.
Yeah.
She said it was in the boarding house, someplace in a comedy place in a boarding house.
Yes. Oh, God. Oh, not the Holy City Zoo. I know where she's talking about. Cobb's.
Was that Cobb's?
Cobb's, yep.
Cobb's was a boarding?
See if that's ask her if I'm right. Was it Cobb's?
Was that a boarding house? Cobb's?
No, but I think she's saying the boarding house. It wasn't like a boarding house. It's that part of town was called boarding house.
Oh, it was called the boarding house.
Oh, it was called the boarding house?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my friend Lou Lanza just said to say hello to everybody. He's driving back to where he lives, Wally World, from Louisville. Oh, and check it out right now, right this very minute, there are 11 people.
Oh, that's karma. This one goes to 11.
Oh, now it's over. Now there's only 9.
Oh,
it was called the boarding house.
That's it. Yeah.
But I've been to Cobb's.
That was long before my time.
The boarding house. Yeah, I didn't know it. Well,
yeah, they had Comedy Day about a month ago. I didn't get to go, but
I was going to ask you, do you go out? I mean, are you out still watching?
I still go. Things? Yeah, to a degree. I was already a little bit of a hermit before the COVID, and the COVID kind of fed into that. But yeah, I have to I get anxiety every time I have to go somewhere. It's weird. I'm a big baseball fan, and I wanted to go to one of the Dodger Giants series, and I just before I go, it's really weird. My shrink and I have gone over it many times. It's just stupid anxiety. It's like one of those things where you're worried to go somewhere, and when you go there, you're like, why did I stress out about this? This is dumb.
Or why did I go? Why didn't I just?
Well, no. Usually, I end up liking where I'm going. Usually, I pick and choose where I know that I'm going to probably, the odds of me having a good time are okay as long as I can accept it. I just, I hate to be that, they say enjoy the journey. I mean, like for many years, I was the guy who was always thinking about where I was going to go. rather than enjoy where I was,
Mm.
you know?
So being
So,
in the moment.
exactly, like dogs do, like he is back there.
She,
She,
Lillian, Pearl,
Lily and Pearl.
and Tony.
Yes. Yeah, so that'd be great. I'll try to, hopefully I can get
All right.
get Ron,
Yeah, I would
and I
love to
might be
go
able to
see
get you
that.
some guests. I can get you some guests. I have other, friends who are
Okay.
comics and stuff.
All right.
I have a really good friend named Mickey Joseph. Do you know who he is?
I know that name.
Yeah. He's retired now. He was a comic, and he can sing and do his little keyboard and do a duo
What
with
was
you.
the place out in Concord?
Tommy T's.
Tommy T.
Yeah, yeah. He performed there a lot too.
I loved Tommy T.
Yeah. But he got a gig in San Francisco, I mean, in Vegas, that he did for 6 years, where he was in the show The Rat Pack, and he played Joey Bishop.
Oh,
So
wow.
he has great stories to tell about the guys who played, Sinatra and Dean Martin and Sammy Davis Jr. This one guy who was probably the
Charlie. Do you know Charlene?
early,
Charlene.
Charlene Early.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I know her.
She's a good
She's
friend of
she's a
mine.
writer, and she teaches writing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and she tried one time to
Where is
have
she
a
now?
she tried one time to have a comedy magazine,
Yes, she did.
but it didn't. I always knew that was hard to do, hard to
She
get
booked me for
advertisers.
a couple of gigs out in where she lived at, like a New Year's Eve gig and a couple other things.
Yeah,
Yeah. Charlene.
yeah, she's good friends with my ex.
Oh,
Yeah, she's very, very cool. I like her. She's
yeah, she's great.
creative. She pursues things like,
And
like
mindful
us.
Grace.
We
She
want
sure
to
does.
do creative. The priority is doing creative stuff.
She and I met at a Super Bowl party at my friend Sterling James, who used to be on KBLX, who now is managing this other place.
Oh, that sounds
That's
fun.
Charlene and I met there, and I haven't seen her in a very long time, but she's a really, really, really good person.
Wow.
And I'm
Yeah.
inspired to. She's on Good Night Mama. She's on Instagram.
Oh, wow.
So, wow, I'll have to
And did
tell
you
her.
know? Well, the name Will Durst, right?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, he's not doing well, and they did
No.
a fund me for him. Yeah, he had a stroke, and he hasn't walked since. It's been like 18 months, and where he's staying for his care is costing a lot of money. But he was such a good guy and such a mensch. I mean, he supported so many comics.
No,
But I think he can recover. I think somebody asked him, are you going to do stand up again? And he goes, I don't want to have to, roll up there. He said, if I can walk up to the stage and stand in front of that mic, he'll do it. And I would love that. That'd be so great.
wow.
Yeah.
This life is very precious. Not
Totally.
easy, but it's precious.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when Robin went, I lived in Pacific Heights, 3 blocks from the Mrs. Doubtfire house. So I walked over there, and oh my God, I felt bad for the people who lived in that house,
Yeah.
but it was a scene.
I went there too.
Yeah, and that one just really still resonates with me. But I found out a lot about it. It was pretty much a mercy killing. He
He didn't want
was,
to be here anymore.
yeah, he had Parkinson's that was really gonna
He had
debilitate
Lewy
him.
body dementia
Yeah, right, exactly.
that gets mimicked as Parkinson's.
He did a Kevorkian, I call him,
Hmm.
and
I liked Dr. Kevorkian a lot. I
Yeah.
work a lot in the death world, and I'm a big advocate for that.
well, I agree. I think that we will know, in 20 years, we'll look back and go, our theory about this was, prehistoric, medieval, because I've
That's
seen
my other
something.
passion,
What's that?
helping people have a great death.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just another stage. We'll have to talk about it another time. I had one of those out of bodies, where I died in my sleep. It was when I was 350 pounds. I had super bad sleep apnea, and I had consumed probably 2 gallons of alcohol. And I had that thing where I went down the hallway, that same stereotypical thing that everybody talks about, where I went down the hallway, and they told me something, but I wasn't meant to remember it. And I remember the funniest thing at one point. It was somebody whose head was a light. And typical me, I was trying to duck down and see behind the light. I wanted to see who was behind that. And whoever it was really calm. And they go, you can do that all day long, but you're not going to see who I am. And they go, just calm down. And they wanted to convey this message to me. But yeah, and it was so funny because when it first happened, I didn't even think about it. And then about a month later, it hit me. And I realized how significant that was. And I saw it like clearly. But whatever they told me, maybe they told me go do this pandemic pet project, go draw on post-it notes, or you know, I'm figure if I've helped
On
one
11/11 with Jenna.
right. I figure if I've helped one person, just one person in some way, uh, then I've accomplished my goal. You know,
I always say when I'm on stage, if I can make them laugh and I can make them cry, then I've done my work.
exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to you earlier doing some really cool covers, songs that I really like.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna listen to you more now.
All right. Well, you can
Yeah,
listen to me right now. If you give me a letter,
I will.
I will start
I'm
singing a
gonna
song for you
go
too.
with the letter M because there's a lot
M
of
or
M's in
N?
your M as in your last name.
M, I know. I know it's all about the M tonight, but I have to say the pandemic pet projects is also on my mind. Is it pet or is it pandemic projects? I don't know. It kind of blows my mind, and someday I will show. And we'll have him back again someday. So stay safe, stay healthy, and be real nice. And order a photo for your animal, but only twice, not three, only two. That's the way that he'd do. Nothing more, nothing less, just 1, 2, and your pets get photos of their art. And I will say, sometimes I'll say things don't mean, and I'll say things, but I'll sing and thank you so much for coming on tonight. Sleep well, everyone, and make sure you come back tomorrow, because tomorrow morning is always fun with Armando, and tomorrow night display and share. So let me say right here, have memorable thoughts, and I'm thinking of the M's. That's a tough one for me. Hey, 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 help me out today about miraculous words, and from your heart I will say, mm, 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 mm. Good night, everybody, good night, everybody, good night, and I'll say have some, wow, I can't think of a word to go M with a heart.
Save Mart. That doesn't work.
A marketable heart.
I had
There you
marvelous.
go.
You did.
Marvelous
I
heart.
said marvelous, and then you went miraculous. So you hit it.
There you go. Monumental, miraculous, and a movement, a movable heart.
Magnificent.
Magnificent. Thank you, everybody. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
I had a great
Standing
time.
ovation right here for
All
you.
right. Thank you. Good night.
Good night. And love hard. I gotta go call my friend on the phone. Real hard. Thanks, you guys.